What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. You know how much I love taking all of your advice that you leave in the comment section. I've changed my whole production location from my bedroom to here. I changed my lens when you guys didn't like my autofocus. I changed my mic, everything. And so now I've gotten quite a couple comments asking me to change my hair a little bit. And so here you go, straight hair grays for like a video or two before I switch it right back up to kinky hair grays. I just think it's so important as a Black woman to be out with kinky curly hair because it is so freaking rare. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning back into another video. If you're new here, welcome to the club. Let's just dive in and forget the stresses of the week with a recap of what happened in the second episode of the new season of Teen Mom OG. We started off with Kate surprising Tyler and Nova by coming home a couple of days early from rehab. Nova recognizing Kate's voice was absolutely way too cute. Kate reveals that she was diagnosed with PTSD, trauma, and panic disorder, and says that she'll follow an aftercare plan this time around. But guys, I will believe it when I see it because this is her third return from rehab, and the first two returns she didn't really do that. So will this time be different? Hopefully so, because now she's pregnant, right? In Indiana, we find out that Amber texted Leah asking her to come over, but Leah told her she's too busy. Both Gary and Christina in their following scene talk about how they feel really bad for Amber, but they're not responsible for Leah not wanting to see her, and that Leah is just at that age where she wants to do her own thing. I think they saved face really well for Amber, because if it were me, I'd have been like, listen, girl, Leah does not know you. Like, you were not really around for her when she was younger. You missed out a couple years going to jail, and then when you get back, you get with this guy who you put ahead of your daughter and would always skip out on visits with Leah. Remember last season, it's so crazy how the chickens come home to roost, because last season Leah was clinging on to Amber the little time she'd get with her. She even followed her to the bathroom at a restaurant at one point, holding her hand. She's like, I want to come with you to the washroom, mommy, or the bathroom. I think that's how you say it in the States, to the bathroom, because I hardly ever see you, and I'm gonna miss you if you go. Like, how sad was that? And Amber still did not see Leah during her scheduled visitation times, and now here she is coming back on her hands and knees begging for her daughter to want to hang out with her. Well, you know what? Too little, too late. Leah's already got her mom, and her mom's name is Christina. In Texas, you guys, Bristol and Dakota, living in their rich-ass neighborhood, are a true depiction of teen and young parenthood, if I've ever seen such a thing. So they're ready for a divorce, and Bristol's in the kitchen talking about how draining it is having to constantly walk on eggshells around Dakota's explosive temper and really unpredictable anxiety and like outbursts. And she says that the kids are starting to sense it too, which I wholeheartedly believe. Kids are super perceptive. Remember how sensitive Nova was to the horse's feelings and to Kate's feelings last episode? And you know, if that's the case, I agree with her deciding to divorce Dakota. But again, like I said in the last episode, the two of them never should have gotten married and had kids so quickly with him in that emotional state. Dakota takes some kind of responsibility for his stake in the demise of the marriage, but he says that he loves Bristol, but she doesn't love him back, and that she just doesn't want to be there for him. But listen, it's hard to be there for someone who's constantly berating you and creating a toxic home life for your children. I think Bristol has every right to walk away from this relationship. Cheyenne and Corey now discuss their upcoming barbecue that she's going to be throwing, and Corey claims that he wants co-parenting advice from her two dads, because we know his snitch ass is about to run on over to the dad and tell him all the tea in the hopes of getting Cheyenne in trouble, ruining that relationship so he could creep on in there. Fresh off of her third rehab stint, Kate is suddenly an anxiety expert, preaching to her friend that in life there's always going to be things that make you anxious, but you have to do your best to deal with them. I think the whole world collectively at this moment was like, really, Kate? You don't say. Back inside the house, I do have to note, you guys, I know it's only snippets of like their lives and stuff like that, but Kate did not seem connected to Nova at all, like this entire episode. Like, they're back at home, and she gives Nova an iPad and headphones to play with while she kind of sits in the kitchen dining table or something like that. And Tyler kind of bitches about it. He's like, why can't she just like entertain herself the way we used to do when we were kids? Like, she doesn't need an iPad to sit there and stare at a screen. But you know what? Different strokes for different folks. I'm just saying, you know, like, if you're away from your kid for almost a year, you want to hug and squeeze them and not let them go, is what I would imagine. So anyway, the two Tyler goes off to his counseling therapy session, and the therapist suggests that the two of them kind of do a joint session where Tyler and that therapist that he'd been seeing individually get into a room with Kate and a therapist that she's been seeing individually, so Kate doesn't feel cornered or attacked. And I thought that seemed like a really good idea. He also lets it be known that he was shocked to find that Kate didn't think that the last 2 years of their relationship were really hard or stressful on him. And I'm kind of like, you know, you've got to let it be known. You can't just suffer in silence and then blame people for not being psychic. Like, depression is a very, very selfish disease. Like, when you're going through it, you don't even realize that anyone else is going through their own stuff because you don't have the capacity to. So you can't just sit there and wait for her to reach out to you. You've got to like let it be known if you want anything to change. The therapist tells Tyler that she's been watching the show, which to me was like the freakiest thing. No one has ever said that. All the therapists and lawyers that they visited on the two, Team Mom OG and Team Mom 2, no one has ever said that. And so she suggests that the two of them watch the things together, the episodes together, so that they can like understand what the other deals with, especially Kate knowing what Tyler's been kind of dealing with while she's been away on like these various rehab stints. And Tyler's like, wow, like we don't actually watch the show. That would be kind of interesting. I think that might be good for us. Maybe we could watch the past season. I don't believe that they don't watch the show, first of all, okay? But anyway, it's kind of exciting that he is on board for the idea of that. Back in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Mimi Jen comes to pick over Bentley, and Maci just continues doing his homework with him in the other room without directly acknowledging Mimi Jen's entrance or anything like that. Even Taylor just opened the door and let her in, and she was playing with one of the kids. I don't even know the name. What is it? Jade with a Y. She was just playing with Jade while waiting for Bentley, and no one really spoke to her. It was very uncomfortable. Like, their beef is with Ryan, not really with the parents anymore. I thought they made up at the wedding, so that was quite uncomfortable to see. Over in Texas again, we find out that Bristol and Dakota had been sleeping in separate beds at this time when he and her want to have a talk together, and they asked the kids to go upstairs to mommy's room to watch the TV in mommy's room. I was like, okay, you guys were out here separated for realsies by the time the MTV cameras rolled up. Like, were they just recreating everything for us for the show? I really do wonder. The two of them have it out, and Bristol tells Dakota that she thinks that they don't know how to coexist as a married couple, and he acknowledges that 90% of the problems are his anxiety, and she concedes that she too has been quite cold with him. And then now it's time for Cheyenne's famous barbecue. I have never seen so many people, like so many friends in the Team Mom world. I've always felt like Maci held the crown for having a lot of friends, but damn, Cheyenne, it seemed like that was a lot of people. I've never had a party with this many people. So anyway, she has her pool party. People are having a good time, and Corey talks to the two dads about like co-parenting advice, but he was probably mainly 100% just looking for a way to kind of weasel in the fact that Cheyenne is living with her current boyfriend. And so when he tells her dad that, the dad's like, oh. And then he takes it up with Cheyenne, who starts acting smart with him. She's like, really? You didn't know? Every time you come to my house, my boyfriend is there. He's like, I thought he just was always there. I didn't know you were living with the guy. And then they are kind of, you know, having their little squabble when her stepmom steps in and lets her know, hey, your dad loves you unconditionally. Don't worry, this is going to be okay. And the dad's like, no, not unconditionally. No. My love has conditions, as he's eating like ribs, like he doesn't give an F-U-C-K. It was the funniest thing ever. And of course, Cheyenne, not getting that it was a joke or just trying to play it up for a storyline, is like, oh my God, F that guy, I hate him. And she storms away, I'm over it. And she like totally exaggerates what happened to like one of their relatives or family friends, claiming that the dad doesn't love her unconditionally and all that BS. Like, really, girl, you are pushing 30 and you don't understand jokes and sarcasm. Guys, I really hope this doesn't come off wrong, like I'm critiquing Maverick or anything, but I really don't understand Maci's attachment to his hair. Maybe it's like a not having kids thing, but I'm like, it wasn't doing much for him. He looked way cuter with his hair cut. Like, I didn't get it, you know? And the fact that that was her whole entire storyline for the episode is pretty freaking alarming, again, considering this is the woman who's always, you know, giving ultimatums to MTV about leaving. Like, leave and take your stale ass, like, non-existent storylines with you, because really that's all you could talk about all episode. Really? Anyway, Tyler tells Kate back at home about the therapist's suggestion that they watch the last season together, and Kate says she doesn't see why they have to, and she's like, I don't see why we have to. Like, do you think I don't know that this past couple of months or years have been tough? You think I don't know? Am I stupid? Am I selfish? What was the 180? Because remember, Tyler already let it be known that when he spoke to you, you claimed to be completely ignorant to what went down the past 2 years. You were like, I didn't know it was 2 years of unhappiness. Wow. And all of a sudden it's, oh, I know. Come on, I'm dealing with my own stuff, but I know I'm thinking about you too. And then, of course, in true Catelynn fashion, she starts crying and playing victim when Tyler is getting a single ounce of attention, like his feelings being like put out there, his thoughts, his heart. Tyler can literally never say a damn thing without her playing it around and like playing victim. Because remember, this was last season as well. Tyler was trying to let her know that he was exhausted, like he was breaking himself too. She's like, oh my God, like you want to break up with me? I would understand if you wanted to leave me. My mental illness ruins everything. Like, Kate, this is so fucking manipulative, girl. And please, guys, do not come for me on this. Like, you could be depressed and a lazy person. You could be depressed and an abusive person. You could be depressed and a manipulative person. Being depressed doesn't mean that you're not also all of these things. And I think that Kate is depressed, yeah, but she's also all of these things that do not work well in a marriage. And it's just so unfortunate to see Tyler consistently get shut down time and time again with these tears from Kate. It's been happening for like a decade at this point. I think he tried to leave her on a show called Couples Therapy, and it was like the end of the world as well. Like, he could not even voice his valid opinions with her because, you know, he's scared of her mental fragility. And it's like, what the actual hell? Like, that's scary. You know, the fact that you cannot talk to someone because you're afraid they're going to kill themselves or something or whatever, because you're falling out of love with them or you're not satisfied in the relationship, that's scary, and that's not the type of relationship that anybody should be in. Anyway, you guys, that's a recap of what went down on Teen Mom OG season 7B, I think it is, episode 2. As usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything, so please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.